Okay guys, wanted to give you part two of what's going on in the fish room. As you can see, all these tanks now have the lids, okay? Very simple. I know it's not perfect, but a lot of times when you, over time, the lids kind of go on these tanks. This one is an Eclipse. It has a filter and light embedded. I'm not going to change this, but these lids, they get cracked, they get worn, they get you can't clean them anymore. I'll show you the ones I'm throwing out. So this is the top of the 55 gallon. You can see it's all in pieces. All this stuff is falling apart. I had plastic lids in them. You can see the plastic lids, they kind of over time wilt. So they wilt, and the one side, that's plexiglass by the way, and it gets all messed up, and you can see all the dirt and the food. So we took it off there. Obviously we changed everything, and also you can see some light in here. These guys get more light now, and especially in the 10-gallon tanks, I don't have to worry about putting a light in. I do have one light here. I moved that light on top of the 20-gallon, and that light's kind of old. Those aren't really fish lights, but I'm also running another filter in that tank because the filter was off for the whole time. So I'm changing it. Of course, that 55-gallon has it now. All the tanks except for this one here, which it has a lid already built in. I'm not going to change this because it has a light, has a lid. You see the lights on there. I mean, I'm not going to change it now, and plus it's kind of hard to do anything. I can't really lay it on there flat. It's not going to cover the whole tank. So the whole purpose of this is so the fish don't jump out, or it's totally covered. Now, of course, the killifish I have to keep an eye on because they do jump out. But although these least killifish, I've noticed they haven't jumped out yet, so I'm not too worried about that. So I pretty much got instant feeding time. That's why everybody's going crazy. I pretty much got everything done. I turned that light off, but like I said, I switch back and forth just so you guys could see what I'm working with here. For some reason that light up there burnt out, but I did turn that light off. But I figured I don't really need it now in that section because of all the lights on here, and these guys get plenty of light now. I mean, because of this light here. So I'm not really too worried about that. You know, obviously I like to, if every now and then, check on these fish, and that's why I had these lights, so I could put these lights on top of these and just check them. I did have another lid and a light that I took off and took down, put underneath here. I may use it one other time. I'm not sure if I'm going to or not, but that light's kind of burnt out. I replaced that light. I'm trying to get away from the stuff that I tried to rebuild. I might just buy new ones, or like I said, I don't really need light as long as I got one light to check on the fish every now and then. There's plenty of light in here for them. So, and even if the light turns off, we got out there is the door, and you know, we could get the light out there. Now the problem is that this light bulb out here is out. I'll have to change the light bulb, but this is more storage. So I don't know why the light came off here, but we'll have to check to see. Oh, the light bulb is out of there. Anyway, whatever the case, I had to change, I had to replace the polyfill in that filter. Anyway, so like I said, when you do this, you use some snips, just like this. Be careful with the snips, and you take your measurements with a tape measure, like I did, and all you're doing is you know, measuring from inside of your tank and to inside of your tank. So, and these sometimes if you do mess up, you have enough, you know, where it can lay on these tanks that it's not going to fall in or anything. So you should be good. Like I said, if it's tight in some spots and it's not tight here, You could always move it up a little bit and see if you can get it to move. I'm not really too worried about it. I cut a couple too big, but this guy doesn't jump. So I'm not really too worried about him. He doesn't jump, so I'm not really too worried about it. And these guys, the goldfish, aren't gonna really jump. So, and like I said, that tank has an Eclipse. That tank has the whole setup. I'm not gonna change that now. And that tank there, I'm gonna leave. So every tank has got graded lids. We're gonna leave it that way for a while. And like I said, we have lights, plenty of light in here, and everything looks so neat. I think it looks neat. My wife's like, "Why don't you do that tank?" She's like, "I can't do that tank. I'm not gonna do that tank because I don't think it's worth it. I think I have a nice, it's a matching set. Although I may want to paint it. And then this one is you know, like $150 piece up here that I'm gonna leave. The light's on. I'm gonna leave it. Anyway, that's it for the video. Like I said, if you guys have any questions about how to make this, you can just send me a message or send me or ask me a question in the messages. I'm perfectly fine with that. You know, it's not that difficult to do, but I think it looks much cleaner. And these aren't, if they kind of break or if you have any problems, and you could always feed them between the grates too, which I don't like to do a lot because it gets messy. But it's perfect for your lid. It's perfect for a lid, and I think it saves you a bunch of money too. And you know, the lids, these plastic tops will probably last you just as long as a regular lid, but you know, I think it's worth it. Get it done. You fish, like I said, a lot of the times when you have a tough kind of lid on there, the fish won't jump and they'll smack their head and get hurt. These kind of have a cushion so they can jump up. I even made one for the betta. So the betta can, you know, he can't jump either. You know, I've had some interesting luck with bettas, but anyway, that's beside the point. Anyway, so until next time, I hope you guys enjoy the weather out there because it's 90 degrees out. But remember, if you can't own them, rehome them. And it's been a while since I made a video, but I had a procedure done, so I'm back in the saddle again. But I want to do another video of the pond, which we'll do, and I'll show you the plants I planted. That'll be on the next video. But for now, we'll see you next time, guys.